Oh.
It's the Bishop Exchange, what? With Father Dez and Father John and Brother Fred back in the Suffolk congregation. You about to laugh it up. It's the Bishop Exchange, what? With Father Dez and Father John and Brother Fred back in the Suffolk. Come on, congregation, we're getting it on.
Is that it? Is that our theme tune now?
No, whoa. We're letting the listeners make a decision on whether they think of it, because it needs to be re-recorded. Vocals are a little low. But first of all, welcome to the Bishop. Welcome to the Bishop Exchange.
We're
asking what they think of it. What do you think of it, guys?
So we're saying, what do you think of this? And if you like it, we'll do it properly.
Well, yeah, because honestly, I can do that better. Just I can get the vocals better, like audio, volume-wise.
Okay, so just to explain to them, the backing track you've pulled from somewhere else and it's your voice.
Like, most hip hop songs, the beat comes from a producer. So I've taken the beat from a producer, as all rappers do, and I have put my vocals over said beat, which I have now, by the way, bought the rights to. So what you have just heard is a Des Bishop original. Okay. The beat was available on a site called BeatStars, and I recorded on an app called Veloco, and Veloco offers all the different features of things
Can I just say, this podcast is not sponsored. We don't.
No, these are just facts about my life.
Because this sounds like one of those podcast adverts. Hey,
John,
Des.
you ever wanted to be a rapper?
Hey, you ever thought about that, Des? I'd love to be a rapper, but I wouldn't even know where to get a beat from. If you want to be a member of the hip-hop community, download Veloco and then get onto what is it, BeatStars.
That's if you want to purchase the beat.
If you want to purchase.
So that's for all these entry-level producers. I guess that's a source of income for them. So they make their beats available in different places, and if you like the beat, you can, if you want to use the beat like we just did, then you can purchase it.
So all this stuff that's going on when people are...
I didn't know this was going to lead to such an intense conversation. I thought it was just going to be a lighthearted thing about the intro.
No, but you see, like people in court cases, like Ed
Sheeran.
Yeah.
Who I play golf with his lawyer.
You play golf with his lawyer?
I play golf with the lawyer that worked on that.
Wow.
Anyway, we're not going to get it. We're not going to get into any names, but
did he win?
He won both. He won the British one and the American one.
Yeah. And on the night that he won the British one, he was. I got invited to join the team who'd won the case for him to have a drink, and I thought he was going to be having a big celebration party, and it wasn't just in a local pub by him. About 15 people. 15 people who were all
so you're really in the inner circle.
No,
John.
no, it wasn't so much that, because I'm more mates with Johnny, who's one of his co-writers on it. I was trying to understand the case, and as they were saying to me, within music, I'm sure I might have got this wrong, but within music there's like 7 chords. Everything's derived from the same bits, and so obviously creatively at times there'll be an overlap. It's like trying to say a joke in English and claiming the words of the joke. It's not the words that make the joke, it's the structure. So what they were saying is that's why there's these businesses that have popped up everywhere with loads of lawyers who are getting unknown artists and trying to get us and saying, look, if you think you've got something that sounds like them, come to us and we'll have a no win, no fee, because the prize is so big. Yeah. And that means that a lot of people then just pay them off because it's cheaper to pay them off than fight them. And Ed and Johnny and the team took a position to say, no, we didn't. We're going to fight this for the sake of the industry, which is a very admirable thing to do, and it's a risk to take because obviously the cost incurred that you do it. But what I was saying is, on the other side of things, there are producers who are making these beats, what you've just said to me, and sticking them out there, hoping that somebody uses them and hoping that the people who use them are honest enough, like you have been, to pay for them.
Well, you have, I mean, and I don't want to bore the listeners here, but you kind of have to be honest because, like, all the internet can very quickly recognize a beat.
Listen, I'm a white middle-aged bloke. I couldn't recognize one of mile off.
No, not you. The algorithms. That's why, like,
Right.
when you put stuff up on YouTube, suddenly it's like you're sharing revenue.
Oh,
with
yeah,
something.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So, by the way, I've had a couple of times people have tried to put claims on my bits. And I don't know if it's just algorithmic or there's a couple of comedians that think they're onto some sort of scam. But I had to challenge a couple of times where
How do
people
you
were
mean?
like, "This isn't original material." Like literally just like a claim on revenue on one of my bits. Anyway, listen, this is like
This
like
is
really,
what we're going to talk about.
this is too niche.
Sorry.
All I
so-
want to know is, does the congregation like the vibe of the song?
That's the question that we'll put out to. So Bradley will get that out to the mass. Well, to the listener.
Listeners,
To the
to the
and get it out.
thousands,
And we'll get some
to the
feedback.
thousands.
Because if people are liking it, then that's what we'll have. We'll have that as the theme tune. Which is sounds cool with me.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, was
Yeah.
it too long? Is it too long?
Yeah, it's a bit long.
Well, we can work it out. We can maybe get some of John's vocals on it also.
No way. Listen, Brad,
Get John on
I've
background vocals.
been in the room on numerous occasions when Des has stepped up to the mic and done the hip hop in
The
English,
hip-hop.
and I've been there when he's done it in Irish as well. I've never seen you do it in Chinese.
Oh, I've done it in
But,
Chinese.
mate. He can deliver. I can't. There's nothing.
I'll tell you,
it's
there's
like
one-
having Eminem's dad in the room.
Eminem and I, we're literally the same age, the exact same age.
I
The
know.
exact. No, he's a boy. I'm pretty sure he's born in 1975.
But anyway, it's like having your own little Eminem. I remember the first time I saw
My
you
own little
properly do
Eminem.
it.
Like, well, you fucking acting like I'm a fucking leprechaun.
But I remember the first time I saw you do it in properly, because I saw
Kilkenny.
you do it when you did your first gig in Liverpool. It was all right. It was a sort of end to the gig. But the first time I saw you get on a stage and properly deliver it was at Kilkenny, and it was like bouncing.
Jump around, yeah.
Yeah, bouncing. So no, I definitely do not want to put my voice to that. I'll leave Des.
Leave it to the
Well, I was going to
professional.
say, I wish I had the footage of, so in 2012, I did like this experimental musical comedy show where I was kind of making up beats sort of on the spot, actually, on stage and then performing. So one of my things was, I made a hip hop song out of Adele's "Someone Like You," but I had a harpist on stage, which I called hip harp, right? So I had a live harpist, right? Hip harp. She was making the Adele beat. Then my buddy Bob Jackson was looping it on an Ableton machine, and
Wow.
live on stage, I was doing a rap about "Someone Like You," and then at the end, we did like a techno remix. But at one of those Edinburgh shows in 2012, John Bishop, my co-host of the Bishop Exchange, Father John, was on stage with me. He might not even remember jumping around like a lunatic to the techno remix. But I don't have any footage of that. Do you remember this, John?
Never happened. It never happened.
Do you remember?
Never
You
happened.
actually, no, come on. Do you remember?
Do you
Someone
remember?
must have footage.
Do you
There's no.
remember?
It's not
I
as.
didn't- you know what? I do. You know what? I think I might have mixed the memory with that one and Kilkenny, because I do remember being on stage jumping around. I remember the harpist. I remember what the who comes to Edinburgh with a harpist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You bring a harmonica.
And she stayed for the whole
You know how
month.
big a fucking harp is? And you don't get many harpers who are busking, do you? A harp's a bit of a thing to cart around.
That was a conversation with Ryanair. I can tell you that right now. What are the fees on a harp? Isn't it in their logo?
Isn't
Isn't it in the Ryanair logo?
Brilliant.
Anyway, so
So that's it. So we've gone from jumping around in 2012 to 2025, sitting in our respective box rooms with Bradley up in a cupboard in Liverpool listening to us.
So Bradley, how do you feel about being called Brother Brad?
I'm obsessed. But what do you say?
Right.
Where did you say that I am? I can't
Well,
make out the next
I
line.
say, with Father Daz and Father John, with Brother Brad backing us up. Congregation,
backing us up.
we about to get it on. Yeah.
He's got it back in his up.
Yeah. Well, you got to go to the beat. I gotta go with the beat.
Mate, listen, we'll see what people say, but I like it. I like
I
it.
also
I
like
do.
it.
The
It's
beat's
got
good.
some energy. It's got some, and it's very reflective. Of,
The beat came from Germany, by the way.
Oh, did it? Oh, that's
I had to
disappointing.
pay a tariff on it.
That's disappointing. I wasn't expecting a German beat.
Yeah, that's a German beat, man.
I don't know why that disappoints me. But,
Really?
Yeah.
Talking about, man, fucking Berlin, baby. That's where it's all going down.
Yeah, Berlin. Let's say that. Yeah. All right, then we'll go Berlin. Hamburg with the Beatles, their beats. Yeah, we'll do that. It's just that because I see it as such an American cultural thing. I wanted it to come from Harlem. You know what I mean? Rather Harlem than Hamburg. But
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, but that's the globalization of the internet, man. You know, we got a German beat, we got an Irish American rapper. You know, we got
a Scouse backing dancer.
I actually did it with this mic. You know, a Scouse backing dancer. Yeah. Anyway, here we are. That was a very long intro. We spent 15 minutes talking about the intro song, and we still haven't discussed my shirt, which we interrupted you.
Yeah,
right at the beginning.
I like it. I haven't taken the piss out of a few of the shirts that you've worn lately. You come on, and I'm liking that.
Well, you know what? So
that's
I
a good
bought this
shirt.
shirt last year, and I actually never liked it. I tried to put it on a couple of times, and I was like, nah. And then this morning, because I try to wear bold shirts to garner attention on the internet. That's actually the reason why I'm trying to wear shirts that are like elicit a response from you, is it might elicit a visual response from the audience. So today I was like, oh, I don't really like this shirt, but I'm going to put it on. And of course, it was the only shirt that you've liked, John. So there it just goes to show you that variety is the spice of life.
It's funny the way you think the internet works. Like,
No, I don't think that is the way the internet works, bro. It's the attention economy.
So what? So if you wear a loud shirt,
Potentially.
people are going to watch our podcast more.
It's not about people. It's about the algorithm, John. You're still focused on humanity. The humanity is irrelevant. What matters is how the internet, how the algorithm perceives humanity's interests. So I'm trying to throw as many things at the algorithm that may garner attention, because we live in the attention economy, John.
You know what? It's very interesting. When I first started as a sales rep, so I fuck knows when was this? 88, something like that. When I it would have been 89. I came back from America.
1989, the number of the summer big jam. Sound of the funky drum. Sorry, Public Enemy.
Okay. Yeah.
Since it's a theme throughout the episode. Fight the power.
Bibbidi bop, bibbidi bop.
Fight the power.
Well,
That's from, remember, Do the Right Thing? Spike Lee movie. Anyway, sorry to interrupt.
well, round about then, anyway. While everyone else, while Public Enemy were doing the right thing and all that stuff, I started working for Syntex Pharmaceuticals, a drug company, an American drug company, and I was the sales rep for Liverpool. And my job was to go round all the GP surgeries, trying to get the doctors to use our drug, which was called Naproxen.
Naproxen was your drug?
So
It's a biggie.
it was a biggie, yeah. We could be sponsored by Naproxen. Hey, Des, have you ever woke up in the morning and had a sore knee?
Well, for the record, it's Aleve. Is the
Naproxen, really?
Aleve is the Aleve. Aleve is the brand name here in the United States. But this is I'm sorry to interrupt you, John, but this is a very middle-aged moment because I got genuinely excited that you were in the early stages of Naproxen, which is, longer-term relief than the traditional anti-inflammatory, which was ibuprofen.
Yeah. But it's part of that. It's part of that non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs.
The NSAIDs.
That all acted on prostaglandin inhibition. So therefore, they inhibit the prostaglandin production, which reduces the inflammation. It means that you can bend, baby. You can bend. You can bend your knee and bend your back. Get the Naproxen. Get it, Jack.
Jesus Christ. I was actually just putting a beat on your description of the. I'm just trying to keep the whole pharmaceutical backstory upbeat. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, listen, I'm excited about Naproxen.
So you're going around and you're giving people like pens and sticky pads or whatever, little mementos to say, remember, use our drug and not their drug, etc. And I thought, how am I going to stand out from all the other reps? And this visual trigger that you said there with your shirts. I used to wear really flash ties. I had to wear a suit, but I used to wear really flash ties with pictures on and all that. And that got me remembered by all the receptionists. That and cakes and a little glint in my eye. They were the things that got me past the receptionist to get into the doctor. So I'm fully aware of the visual effect that bright colours and clothing can have. The algorithm even existed in the 80s.
Yeah, see, so this is what we're talking about. The algorithm is basically just an extension of humanity, but now it's out of control. Like the said pharmaceutical, there you were selling a very benevolent, helpful drug for all of humanity. But then those very techniques that you're talking about would evolve into something more sinister in the 2000s, which is why you should watch the Michael Keaton movie.
The one, that was about a completely different
about
level.
Purdue. But that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
How everything gets, it's like you're doing something good, like a wonderful drug like Naproxen, but then the Purdue Pharmaceutical take those benevolent practices and push it to the next level and literally cause a massive problem. Anyway, you got out at the right time.
I got out years later, though. I was in the pharmaceutical industry for 17 years. So by the time I got out, I'd moved well away from the Naproxen and all other stuff.
Now, can I just... I know that some people probably are not as fascinated by the pharmaceutical industry as I am, but with Naproxen, were you selling a brand name? Because in America, it's Aleve. Is it the same company?
It was called Naproxen over there.
Right. So separate company? Did somebody else have the European?
Syntex was the company. We were an American company, and so I was working for Syntex, and then we got bought by Hoffman La Roche, and so it became Roche, and then by then I'd moved on to another division of the company. I was in the hospital division. Then I was doing things like Cymovine, which was a drug that helped AIDS patients with cyclomegalovirus. And then we were looking at other retrovirals and stuff like that to help it within the immunology space.
So what's your preferred non-steroid anti-inflammatory?
Well,
no, I'm curious.
What's my preferred?
Yeah, do you prefer ibuprofen or Naproxen? The rest of them you can't get over the counter.
No, Voltarole's a good one.
Voltarol
is always good. That's
that's the rub-in.
That's the same
thing, though,
class
right?
as drug. Same class, non-steroidal.
But do you have a pill on that, or do you rub that? That's the one you rub in, right?
You can rub it in, or you can have a pill.
Ah,
You can either of them. But I think within those three, they're probably as good as each other.
Nice.
For what their effect is. Ibuprofen's clinically shown to be a little bit slower than the other two.
right. There you go. Now, I'll tell you what I like. I like Celebrex. I like Celebrex, but it's not over the counter. You got to get a prescription. You know?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. What a chat.
What a chat! Listen, I'm a big fan of the non-steroid anti-inflammatories. If we ever start to advertise, we better get a goddamn non-steroid anti-inflammatory drug sponsor.
That'd be good. That'd be good, because then we could genuinely come on and not do that pretend chat about being interested in the sponsors. I could get up and go, Des, how's your back today? How's your hip? And you can say,
So what I would suggest is that when we start advertising, I'm going to say, listen, we need a sponsor of a non-steroid anti-inflammatory drug, and then we also need a steroid of like a food delivery service, because you're not supposed to take the non-steroid anti-inflammatory drug unless you've eaten food. So I think we've already got ourselves.
Because that's the prostaglandin inhibition in your stomach, so that's why you need it. And so you could do that. We could.
And how many podcasts can tell you why you need it?
Exactly. And what we could do then, we could just get advertisers that work around the things that we need. Like, is there anyone advertise anything for bunions?
With Dr. Scholl's. Dr. Scholl's.
You
said that like that was
Can
the
you
most.
get your shoes on? No, I can't. Hey, I'll tell you what would be good, Des. This bunion cream.
Dr. Scholl's. Listen, have you ever had a bunion? Have you ever had a bunion? No, we're not even doing an ad. Have you ever had a bunion?
Have I ever had a bunion?
Yeah.
I haven't, but I have a propensity for the...
They're very sore.
My mum had bunions, and apparently it's a genetic thing. It is a genetic, so I'm quite aware of it. And I have had sometimes when I wore tight shoes, I thought, oh my God, this is going to become a bunion. But I've stopped wearing the tight shoes before it's become a bunion.
It's the way it's
Dr.
weird.
Scholl's.
It's such
I
a
use
bad
Dr.
word.
Scholl's.
It's such a good word. I mean,
What,
you could
bunion?
say you could say things like, "Oh, let's get piles" or something. That would have been funny. But bunion, as soon as you say bunion, you've age-related it, haven't you? No teenagers have bunions. This is a thing for later in life. So that's why when the lineup of potential sponsors turn up, it's going to be like Saga. Fucking
Depends undergarments. Do you have a problem with incontinence?
Are you leaking? Hey, if you ever felt yourself leaking and not know why,
are you leaking like the Trump administration's Department of Defense? Then I think you need Depends.
padded pants. Have you got padded pants? Hey, Des, I'm wearing my padded pants today. Are you wearing your padded pants? Bradley doesn't. He's young.
Do you don't want to interrupt a good flow on the podcast when the atmosphere is really pumping? Then wear Depends. You don't have to get up and go to the bathroom. Save Bradley a bit of editing.
Exactly. Sit in your pants and sit in your piss.
Bradley, did you ever regret your life decisions when you had to sit there and laugh at middle-aged men joking about undergarments?
Yeah. What's funny, Bradley? We're only talking about the truth. Your problem, you can't handle the truth.
Did you ever think that you found yourself in the wrong career? Anyway, Bradley, how are you before we carry on? How are you, Bradley? Because I feel like last week you didn't say that much.
I'm good. I've been camping in a caravan, which was very nostalgic. Reminds me of my childhood.
You know, being in a caravan is not camping. It's being in a caravan.
Yeah, I know. I know.
You can be camp in a caravan, but it's not camping.
Yeah, that's where I got confused. No, but they call them campsites, so I just think it's camping. Innit?
So
you've got to use a communal shower. It's camping.
And were you near the sea?
Yeah, with an Anglesey right by the sea. Very beautiful.
That is really, because that's not as much in America. Before I moved to Ireland, I didn't know anybody that went to caravan parks. But in Ireland, it very common sort of family holiday back in the day.
Posh people had caravans.
Yeah, but they're amazing. some of these people, I would go to their caravan. I'm like, this is a proper gaff.
I know, it's the house.
In America, they live in them full time, and they get taken away by tornadoes.
Yeah. I took the kids to a caravan park in Wales, and it was oh God, fucking hell! It was when me and Melanie had split up, and it was one of the first times I had the kids on my own at half term, and it was like Tenby or somewhere like that. So we had this caravan park. Oh fucking hell! And my mum and dad came to help me out with the kids because they were older young. I think Joe would have been about 7, 5, and 3. Wow. And I was a single dad on my own with the kids in this caravan for a week. And I remember me mum and dad coming to spend a couple of nights at the caravan. And then my mum's saying, yeah, why don't you go on? You have a night out, we'll look after the kids. So one of the saddest nights I've ever had in my life is in a caravan park on your own. Where you go to the entertainment place, you know, the bar that they
like
have.
The Butlins type vibe.
Oh, fuck it. And you go in there and order a pint of lager on your own in this entertainment place where you're clearly the single dad in the room, and then there's a fucking a cabaret show on, and you sort of sat there and go, all right, mate. Oh God, I'll never ever forget that feeling of like, what am I doing here? And what was worse, because it was a week away, we'd only relatively split up. Melanie came for a day to see the kids, just to see them for the afternoon and then go back. So she came for a day. The day after, I'd been in the cabaret bar on my own. So then people were looking at me going, what were you doing sniffing around people at the cabaret bar? With this, the mother of your children. Oh God, it was. Oh,
but I feel like there must have been other dads where the wife was like, go and have a drink, I'll look after the kids. I feel like there must have been a couple of them.
Yeah. You'd think so, but none of them were talking to me. I literally just sat at the bar on my own. I spoke to the young lad behind the bar, and then there was 3 women came in, 3 mums who were. You know, like I just split up. I had no confidence in myself or anything, and you just think, how do you broach the subject? Because even like, what happens if like something happens? What happens if I click off with somebody and we go, oh, do you want to go back to my caravan? Where you gonna go? You can't go back to my caravan with their kids. You can't go back to my caravan with my kids. It was like, imagine your mum and dad go, listen, I'm just, if you don't mind, like, we're just gonna rock the caravan for a bit and try and not wake the kids up. It was like, oh, honestly, it was.
Rock bottom? Was that rock bottom, or you had further to go?
No, I had further to go.
It's part of your origin story, anyway.
Yeah. I had further to go. The rock bottom of being split up was on New Year's Eve in 2000.
Oh wow! I
I
remember that New Year's Eve.
Yeah, I was in my house. I had the kids. I think we'd sort of split it, so she might have had them. We shared them Christmas Day or whatever. Anyway. Basically, Melanie had somewhere to go on New Year's Eve in the year 2000, and I didn't. And I said I was going to have the kids. So New Year's Eve, I'd had the kids all the way until they were too tired to stay awake, and then they went to bed. And I remember going to their bedroom to look out and watch the fireworks of other people's parties, and thinking, wow, this is my life now. This is my life. Yeah, no, but then, 9 months later, I started doing stand-up.
There you go. You see? Rose from the Phoenix, John Bishop.
Rose from the Phoenix.
Well, I have to tell you that I have slept through many New Year's Eves, and my rock bottom will never be New Year's Eve because I couldn't give a fuck. No matter what happens in my life. No matter what I'm doing on New Year's Eve, I will be fast asleep. I can't. I very rarely am awake during the actual fucking New Year's Eve part.
Yeah, I get that. It wasn't about the New Year's Eve. It was just the fact that there's a load of joy going round and you've got your kids looking at you saying, why don't you live with me mum anymore? They're the moments where you go, do you want some crisps? What?
Lexapro. You can get Lexapro. Go see your GP now and ask about Lexapro. No, I'm just kidding. I was just doing it.
Yeah.
Because, in America, you can advertise pharmaceuticals. So you get that shit on TV all the time.
I know.
You know?
I know,
The
but you
stuff on
see the
TV in
adverts.
America is crazy.
I know, but the adverts for pharmaceuticals are more scary than anything because they'll say something like,
Well, they have to do it at the end. They have to do
They
the
have to do it at the end, so they'll say something like, "Oh God, I've got really bad hay fever. Why don't you try hay away? Hay away is a great thing. Hay away." And then at the end it goes, "Hay away could come with side effects. Might make you blind. May make you dead. Do not take hay. Do not take hay away if you're allergic to hay away, which you'll never know unless you fucking took hay away. And then you've took it. There's loads of blind people walking around going, I'm fucking allergic to hay away. I didn't know."
You're going to get sued by Hayway, bro.
Yeah, exactly. so it's like, from my point of view, when I was working in the industry, and then I went over to America and saw all the restrictions that we had to communicate about medicine, and then what they were doing over there, I couldn't believe it. Couldn't
Yeah,
believe
but that's
it.
because they can
Felix.
advertise. So if you're going to put this out on blast, mass media, you got to let people know, So,
Yeah,
but
I get you.
honestly, I want to be just one serious point. I'm not a fan of RFK Jr. in any way. However, the one thing I do agree with him on is that you should not be allowed to advertise pharmaceuticals because obviously we all know that when you have a symptom, you go on Google and Google tells you have cancer, right? When really you just have a cold. So the thing is that if you're seeing an ad and somebody's like, "Oh, have you ever had this thing?" And suddenly you're like, "Oh my God, I have that." Go ask your GP. Then you go ask your GP. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times you could end up literally medicating
listen,
something because you got promoted to.
Yeah, exactly. You should be self-medicating, or self-diagnosing, and also the issue with all of that is that you're promoting something, so you're only presenting one side to it, and you can't. It just as an ethical way of approaching medicine, that shouldn't be the way to do it because that's just like a bloke in the pub told me. But I've got to tell you why I'm obsessed with your shirt, because yesterday I went shopping.
That was a switch.
I know, yeah. I went shopping yesterday. And
Okay.
and I tell you why I went shopping yesterday. Because I'm a cheapskate. So what happened? I got invited to a fascinating lunch about a month ago, maybe a bit longer, with Paul Smith. You know, the designer Paul Smith.
Yeah, the designer.
Yeah. So I met Paul Smith, right? So and brilliant bloke, brilliant. But I thought it'd be funny if I met him. I sound like a knob now that I'm about to say this.
It's all right. You drop a name on every episode. This podcast could be called "Dropping Names" with John Bishop.
No, the reason I'm laughing is like a dickhead. I thought, wouldn't it be funny to meet Paul Smith whilst wearing only Paul Smith? So I put a Paul Smith suit on, Paul Smith shirt, Paul Smith trainers, right? And I turned up to meet Paul Smith, which is fucking stupid when you think about it. That's like meeting Kenny Dalglish in a Liverpool kit. It's like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? So, but so
What did he say?
So I turned up at this thing, and there was a few people there, really nice people and so on. Ryan Tuberty was there.
Nice.
He was one of them. So anyway,
Big fan of Paul Smith, Ryan Tuberty.
big fan of Paul Smith, obviously, and Stanley Tucci. That's who I
Wow.
sat with.
I've met
them
him
three
before,
to-
actually. Nice
Stanley,
guy.
Stanley,
Nice
is a
guy.
class act all the way through. And I look at Stanley Tucci and I think, you look cool. You look like
Natural
an Italian
style. Natural style.
That's what I want to buy. I want to buy the natural style. So I want to look like Stanley Tucci. So I'm there.
Stanley Tucci, I promise you, Stanley Tucci looks at you and goes, I want that fucking hair. So, back and forth. Back and forth.
We'll swap a fringe for a wardrobe. Anyway, so we're there. And I thought it'd be. And also, I've got a friend who's also called Paul, who only buys Paul Smith clothes ever. That's all he's ever bought for the last 25 years. So I thought it'd be funny. So anyway, I had a photograph with Paul to send to Paul. But what really struck me, so I said to Paul, listen, it's a bit of a joke, but I thought I'll wear your stuff. And he went, yeah. And he grabbed me jacket. And he went, yeah, that's a linen that we got made in this factory in Italy. And we get it constructed in Nottingham with that one. He said, that shirt's a cotton that we get dyed over. Fucking couldn't believe it when you think of all the clothes that he's got. Now, he might have been bullshitting me, but I was just so impressed. And there was a lady there who worked for one of the fashion magazines who said, designers don't do that. He does it. He actually knew his own clothes. It was brilliant. But then
I saw just quickly. I saw like an interview, like a documentary thing with him before. He's a fascinating guy, and he's really on it, and he's really genuine. It really is his style.
So down to earth.
It's an extension of. It's an extension of him.
Yeah,
the Paul Smith
honest to God,
stuff.
it was brilliant. So the guest at the table, we got given an envelope, a little wallet, a little Paul Smith wallet with your initials on. I thought, that's good. And then my mate who organised the lunch said, did you see what's in the wallet? And I said, well, he hasn't given us a few quid, has he? He said, no, there's a discount. So if you want to go to one of the Paul's shops, there's a discount you can use. You get in touch with this girl, Amy. So I thought, right, I am so fucking lazy. I am so sick of not having anything appropriate to wear in this weather, because we're having heat waves here and British people don't know what to wear. We're not used to it. So we've still got that mentality that if you leave the house, you better take a coat just in case.
Yes.
So and it's been like 35 degrees here, like our degrees, not American degrees.
I get it.
Yeah. So I thought, I'm gonna go. So I went yesterday and I met this and I bought numerous summer type shirts, of which that style that you've got on would have been within the collection had it been available. So that's why I focused on the shirt, because I'm going to try and do shopping twice a year, because I fucking hate it. And I'm just going to go, I'm going to email this girl, Amy, go, meet me at the shop again and please dress me and then let me give you some money and walk out. Because honestly, it was so good. I was in and out in 45 minutes, what would have taken me 3 weeks of indecision otherwise.
Well, I'm a fan of Paul Smith, but coincidentally enough, this shirt, I'm not going to name it, but it's from a company that definitely does a little bit of Paul Smith duping, as they say. Definitely feel like their shirts are, I'm not saying this is a Paul Smith dupe, but, they definitely, one of the reasons why I like it is I like a Paul Smith style shirt. So I have.
Right, okay. So basically, I'll wear my new shirts, and then next year you'll buy the copy of them.
Oh yeah, exactly. Because I'm not in the Illuminati like you, so I don't have a story. I don't have a story every week about a meeting with the fucking titans of industry.
Yeah.
I did say that I met Stanley Tucci in Hong Kong while he was doing Transformers 4, but that's the only person in that story that I knew Ryan Tuberty too.
But it's a good story, just because of the fact that I did turn up like a super fan wearing all his clothes.
But I bet you Ryan Tuberty did too.
And also, I have to tell you this.
I know he likes Paul Smith.
I have to tell you this, because this is and this is one of the things about going If you ever go to a lunch with somebody who happens to be one of the icons of fashion, I've turned up, and what was happening is that night I was doing a charity do in Liverpool, a black tie affair in Liverpool, and I've turned up with the suit that I'm going to take to Liverpool and all that stuff. And I was messing about with as I was putting the bag away, and I thought, oh, fucking hell, I'd forgot to include a shirt. So I didn't have a white shirt. So then I said, I'm in the middle of the lunch. I said, Paul, this is a little bit awkward. I need a white shirt.
You
for
didn't
tonight.
ask Paul Smith for a shirt, did you?
So they gave me a white shirt. Somebody went round to one of the shops, came back and said, there's a shirt, here's a black tie. So I felt I needed to go and buy something from his shop to make up for the fact that I was such a cheapie.
You're begging.
Such a gobshite.
Oh
I
my
turned
God.
up in all the Paul Smith clothes I own.
You're like somebody showing up in the DMs, like, any chance, can I get some tickets? Jesus Christ. You've never been more Liverpool than fucking showing up at a Paul Smith to be like, can I get a shirt?
I'm turned up in all the Paul Smith clothes and asked for the shirt because I didn't have one.
Oh my God.
So you're talking to me about name dropping. I have to name drop because I'll never get a second invitation.
Oh my God.
They go, don't fucking bring him. He's going to be asking for socks next time.
Unbelievable. Although he has great socks. Paul Smith socks. Great socks.
Socks.
Big fan of socks, man.
Socks. Yeah, that's what we want to be sponsored by socks. Hey, socks.
That's what you started. That was your
I started
first.
the socks
that
thing.
was your
The
first
socks.
joke.
The mock ad was the sock ad, and I think we need to mock that up, get it out there, send it to the potential sponsors, and go, your product could be these socks. Could be the way we talk about socks. Anyway, the other thing to say is my dad went back on a Sunday, which was a bit sad. So we've had him here for a whole week, and I've loved it. Loved it. We've been bowling, and he won the competition at the end on the very last bowl. We've had a stacked competition through.
You should have filmed it. Should have got the footage.
Mate, you know what I mean? It's not all content with me, Dad. It's not all content. Some of this is just living your life.
Yeah, just living your life. But you set it up though, because we put up the story. You know, you put up the video about the competitiveness. I would have liked to, sort of punctuate that with.
I should have done because it all went down to the last bowl. So and I knocked my own bowl out the way by accident.
You fucked yourself.
Own goal. Like my dad said, that's an own goal. He said, right now, you would be the biggest dickhead in the stadium. He said,
you could have dropped it in front of your foot.
Minutes, you've scored.
You could have dropped
it
in front of your foot and won.
Exactly. That's what it could have done. So, but no, so that's
it's like
been
John
my big
Terry slipping on a penalty.
Yeah. Talking about John Terry, did you see remember the big thing with John Terry
when he was trying to bang somebody's wife?
No.
Was that not it? Or when he was using the N-word? Which one was
not
it?
The racist or no, the other John Terry, when he was injured and Chelsea won, I think it was the FA Cup, and he put the shirt on to go and lift the shirt, to go and lift the trophy, to make it look like he played in all the future photographs. And then I never saw the game.
Which I never had a problem with that because for all our joking criticism, he was incredible Chelsea player.
Fantastic footballer.
I never begrudged him his little moment there because he was the enforcer.
Fantastic footballer. But he that was the big thing about somebody hogging the limelight when he hadn't played. And then I didn't see the game of this FIFA World Club Championship with Chelsea were playing PSG.
They annihilated them, actually.
On Sunday. And they annihilated them. But I've seen the photographs. Donald Trump gave the trophy away and then wouldn't get out the fucking way.
Wouldn't get off. The guy from FIFA was trying to tell him to go 3 times. He was like, let's go. and Donald Trump standing. I'd say if you stood there while he was jumping around with Chelsea and said, "Can you explain offside?" He wouldn't fucking know how to explain it. This guy doesn't know jack shit
Mate,
about
if
football.
you said to him explain the Middle East conflict, he wouldn't know. Do you know what I mean? You know. But he's in the middle of it. He's right in the middle.
He wouldn't
I just
leave.
couldn't believe it. I've never ever seen
Half
anything
the Chelsea
like that.
team couldn't believe it either.
Yeah, so funny. It was just so reflective of the man.
He's desperate. Honestly, he's desperate for any distractions from, a bad week with the Epstein thing. So that's why he was just like anything at all to just get that going.
Anything at all. So that means
just to get
pretending that you won, pretending you play for Chelsea.
Yeah, like he's the fucking Jose Mourinho. You know what I mean? Like he's like in there jumping around. Two fucking megalomaniacs, by the way, coincidentally enough.
Funny.
Although I missed the Mourinho era, I can tell you that right now.
You missed the era.
I missed the Chelsea Mourinho era, 100%.
Yeah, it was rubbish football. I was talking about him the other day.
Fucking results, baby, results.
Results, yeah.
Yeah, you got to remember at the time, there was so much Man United dominance. It was just like nice to have somebody else in the mix in those early, in the early days of that era, when the Russian money came in, which I never felt comfortable with the Russian money, but I did think that it shook up the Premier League, and at that time in a way that was necessary.
Yeah, but that's the thing with all sports fans, innit? It's like, as long as you're winning, you can turn a blind eye to where the money's coming from.
No, I was never that comfortable with it, but I do think that the Premier League had gotten a bit sort of one-dimensional at that time, and it did just add a little bit of something extra to the league at that time. Yeah. Because Man U was winning every year, except for like the Arsenal Invincibles year. It was just a time where suddenly there was like something else to follow. Not just because I was a Chelsea fan. Because, Chelsea were actually doing people forget, Chelsea were actually doing all right before the Abramovich money. They were doing all right with Cudicini. They were in the Champions League without the Abramovich money. Anyway, we don't have time to go back.
What's your
time
view,
has
Brad?
passed. Time has passed.
Yeah, let's chip in. Okay,
I was going to say the same.
This podcast, this episode has been full of people just talking about the stuff that they like.
Brad, before we go, is there anything that you would like to discuss before we wrap it up? Or are you content? Because again, you're getting quiet, Brad.
Yeah, we want something from you, Brad.
I feel the best episodes.
The best episodes
are
when Caravan.
Yeah, the best episode. Yeah, well, then you went on a big fucking depression. We could have had fun with the Caravan thing, and you had to go into like a deep, dark place at the fucking Caravan story.
Yeah, the saddest days. Yes. So let's get back to your weekend, Brad.
We're trying to keep it hip hop. You're trying to keep it hip hop, and you're bringing out the violins.
I know. No, you started with the harp.
It's a string section here.
So, Brad, tell us though, how was the weekend? You and your fella.
The weekend, it was very nice, but it was, chilled. But I will say it did feel like a very heterosexual space. And I feel like
interesting. You're gendering caravan. You're sexualizing
just like
caravans.
The whole like being in Wales.
So I need to ask you a question.
Yes.
Were you the only gay in the village?
Yeah, I think so.
Since you were in
I
Wales.
actually think so. That's a good point. I was the only guy in the village. And me fella.
Not that the Americans won't get the reference, but
No.
But that's funny. That is funny.
But that was very good. Would do it again.
So do you guys play any games?
I bought Real Housewives Top Trumps.
So you played Real Housewives trump cards? It was like a
Yeah, I bought Real Housewives Top Trumps especially for the trip. It was fun, but like, have you played Top Trumps?
Yeah, but not the Real Housewives one. I mean, what are the questions? Who's had the most Botox?
Yeah, it is. One of them is Nip Tucks. And it's like ventures, like business ventures and stuff like that.
So who had the most tucks? Who had the most Nip Tucks?
I can't remember, but Nene Leakes was the highest card, like the best card that you could get.
Really?
She had
and
the
which
most
housewives?
tens.
Which housewives is she from?
Atlanta.
Oh, that's Atlanta. Now, listen, John.
Are you both fans of Housewives, though, or
Well,
are you the
no, it's
experts?
just Hannah came out of the Bravo world. So, John, you might drop the name Paul Smith, but I know Portia Williams.
It was very exciting to me.
See, that's where me and Bradley connect over some Housewives connects, you know?
But for you, Brad, like, I know you watch it. Does Darren watch it as well? Are you both into it? Or so you're both experts on it, yeah? Because playing top trumps with something you know nothing about is so fucking hard.
Which is what I was just going to say, playing top trumps with two people, it goes on like for very, very long. So by the end of it, I was kind of like, should we just like stop now? Whoever has the most now can be the winner.
Yeah,
so
that's funny.
We had a lot of people here for 4th of July weekend, last weekend, like proper entertaining. And one of them, Haley, she's big on the games. She's always trying to get the games going. But I have to say, we played a game that I want to tell all the listeners and you guys, which is so fucking simple and so fun. It's fucking ridiculous. So the game, which maybe you've played before, is generally a couple, but you can switch it up. You say a word at the same time, right? And then you slowly try to say the same word at the same time, right? So a quick example, right? Me and you, Brad, are you ready?
Okay.
When I count to 3, we're both going to say any word at all. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. When I count to 3, just say the first word.
But do you know what word you're going to say?
I know what word I'm going to say, and he needs to know what word he's going to say. But I'm just going to explain the game really quick before we end the podcast, because this is a great game for people to play, okay? So me and Brad, I'm going to count to 3, and you're going to say a word, okay?
Okay.
1, 2, 3, shirt.
Housewives.
Okay. Right? So now the words are shirt and housewives. So now when we go again, based on the words, right? Based on, I know what he said, he knows what I say, we're going to try to say the same word, right? So you said housewives, I said shirt. Okay.
Right.
So ready? 1, 2, 3, bikini.
Blouse.
Okay. Right? So we're not going to keep playing the game because it can go on for ages, but eventually you try to say the same word at the same time.
That's very fun.
But sometimes, dude, it's so fun because what happens is sometimes, and couples always end up fighting. It's like, how could you say fucking blouse, you fucking idiot? You know, like sometimes, and that honestly, especially if there's a few drinks involved, the atmosphere really fucking can get, you know, some couples, like, you know, the way some couples are more like at each other than other couples. The at each other couples when they're playing, it's fucking hilarious. So I highly recommend.
I love that.
That's a good game.
All the listeners, it's a fun game. The more couples, the better. And it doesn't have to be couples because we ended up changing it up. We threw the keys in the bowl. And then but then what's really funny is sometimes you join with somebody else, you get it in like 3 rounds. And then your spouse is like, oh, so you got a better fucking connection with her?
How come you both said blowjob at the same time?
Yeah. Affair. Why did you both say affair?
Why did you both say secret? Why did you say secret? And that was your first go.
Why did you both say loose lips sink ships? But anyway. So and that's just a share a game to wrap it up here at the end of a wonderful episode of the Bishop Exchange.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. So listen, everybody, keep telling all your mates.
Like and subscribe. Spread the word.
And honest to God, we might do an advert one day.
We might do an ad.
Might get this paid for.
I had to advertise another podcast on fucking Burnaphone this week because Wondery Podcast is advertising Armchair Expert. I think they're doing like a new episode as part of their thing, which coincidentally enough is just people calling in. Right? People calling in, like we have the congregation call in sometimes. Armchair Expert are doing that. And I actually had to advertise their podcast. Even though they're like one of the most successful podcasts, I was advertising that. But hey, I'll take it. You know, I'll take it.
Advertise us.
You can start advertising us.
I fucking do advertise us. I fucking do advertise. Have you ever noticed all the American accents? No, you ever noticed all the American accents that fucking dial in?
Yeah.
Do you think 25-year-old women from Texas are fucking fans of you, John? They're fans of Hannah. Just so you know.
I'm riding on the back of Hannah. Me and Hannah better not do this 2-word game, I tell you. We'd both be looking at you going, dickhead.
You and Hannah be like, add money. Anyway.
So, but listen, this has been good. As you say, do the normal stuff that we want you to do, and we're going to start looking at making sure that we're here all the time, continuously. And maybe, you mentioned the congregation, we've got loads of backed up messages, and maybe I think we need to start looking at doing the odd bonus episode and getting through
We're going to
them.
start doing some bonus episodes. But you guys got to spread the word.
Yeah,
we got to get
please do.
we got to get the word out. So we'll see you guys. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Take care. God bless. Ta-ra.